You know that feeling when you witness something incredible and the image doesn't quite do it justice? I do. You may be asking yourself, why? It's because you suck. No, I'm kidding. You probably don't suck. I mean, well, maybe someone watching this video does, but definitely not you. Mother Nature is full of surprises. We never really know if a sunrise or a sunset is going to be killer. All we can do is hope and speculate. During any lighting event, whether it be sunrise, sunset, golden hour, blue hour, moonrise, whatever, there's going to be one moment where the lighting is at its peak, its most dynamic. The one moment where the scene looks the best. We don't know when that peak is going to be, but what if we could take the guesswork out of the equation and ensure that we came away with the best possible exposure? Well, we can. Step 2. Use an intervalometer. Wait a minute, Cody. You just skipped step 1. No, we're going to do this Star Wars style. We're going to start right in the middle. An intervalometer simply does exactly what the name suggests. Essentially, it's a remote camera control that allows you to tell the camera when to shoot. It's great for all sorts of things, from shooting time lapses to group photos and exposure blending, although that last one's a topic for a later video. But for our purposes, we're going to be using it just to shoot photos at a set interval, essentially capturing the whole lighting event from start to finish in chosen increments. Sometimes you think the best shot is going to be during peak sunset, but then the blue hour comes through and blows your mind with some pink clouds and soft ambient foreground light. And other times you think the sunset is going to be killer, but it turns out to be a dud and you end up falling back on one of your golden hour exposures. Either way, the intervalometer helps to ensure that you come away having captured the best possible light. I usually like to shoot before golden hour through twilight whenever possible, and at an interval of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I find that 2 minutes and 30 seconds is a happy medium between capturing all the subtle changes in the scene and filling up your SD card with unnecessary shots. This technique is great for shots that you only may have one opportunity to get. For example, when I was backpacking through Europe a couple years ago, there were many places I wanted to be sure I photographed. Given our travel itinerary, I usually only had one chance to get the shot I wanted. Shooting through the whole lighting event using an intervalometer allowed me to capture the entirety of the scenes as they changed before me, and then choose the images I liked the most after the fact. Now wait a minute, you're saying that I need to spend an hour, maybe more, in one place to get one photo? And the answer is yes and no. I mean, you're going to want to make sure that someone doesn't run off with your camera and keep a good eye on it, but now that the intervalometer is clicking away for you, you're free to give your attention to other things, which brings us to step 3. Enjoy the sunset. I can't tell you how many times I've sacrificed the experience of something for a photograph of it. It can be such a shame. Photography puts us in such beautiful places, but so many of us are so caught up in getting the photo that we fail to absorb any of the places ourselves. Now with the intervalometer clicking away, you're free to do whatever you please. Sometimes I like to just sit and watch the scene unfold in front of me, but other times I'm still compelled to shoot. So I'll get out my second camera and just capture things, but in a more relaxed way, because now I know that the shot that I came here for is pretty much taken care of. It's out of my control now. The light will either be good or it won't, but either way, I'll capture something. Step 1. Now you may be wondering, since we started in the middle of the Star Wars franchise with step 2, does that mean that the earlier episode, step 1, is going to suck? Well, you might like it less, but it's the foundation on which the success of steps 2 and 3 is based. Step 1. Arrive early and scout your shot. Scrambling to find the shot is not a recipe to take great photos. The whole point of the intervalometer is to be proactive. Just showing up and putting your camera on a tripod, setting your intervalometer is not going to get you a great photo. Good lighting is essential for great photos, but there's so much more to it than that, obviously. For example, you need to nail your composition as well. I am certainly guilty of rushing through my compositions and, as a result, taking subpar photos. When the beauty's unfolding right before your eyes and the blood starts flowing, it can be a now or never situation as you struggle to find the right shot. But good shots aren't found when you're rushed or stressed. The best shots often come from a state of calm observation. This is where proactive scouting can have such a huge impact on your photography. Arriving beforehand and having the time to contemplate the scene and observe before you make any judgmental decisions on where you're going to place your camera, and having the time to commit to your shot well before the opportunity of lighting presents itself. It removes a whole lot of the pressure, and when the sun does begin to set, you will have peace of mind knowing that your shot is essentially taken care of. Now, if you're like me at all when you learned about intervalometers, you might be thinking, isn't that cheating? And I don't think so, but I'll tell you why. To me, it's working smarter, not harder. If you're gonna be at the scene the entire time anyways, wouldn't you rather have the intervalometer do the clicking part for you so that you can be free to enjoy the scene or experiment with other compositions? It just seems like a better use of time to me, especially if this is a spot that you only get to come to once or once every so often. Now you might actually get to savor the experience and have something to remember it by rather than just scrambling to find a photo. All the intervalometer is doing is preventing you from having to click the shutter button every 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which, let's be honest, would be pretty annoying. But everything else, the approach, the methodology, the techniques, whatever you want to call it, all of that is still the same. You're still doing all the hard work. You're the one that's scouting the image, you're the one that's setting up the tripod, you're the one that's dialing in the settings. And let's talk about settings just for a second. After acquiring focus, put your camera in manual focus. Set your camera to aperture priority. Turn steady shot or image stabilization off because on the tripod it may actually introduce some shake into your images. And if your camera is a point and shoot with a power zoom, you're going to want to turn your auto off setting to longer than your interval is. Think back to some of the previous shoots that you've done recently. Were you stressed about the shot, or were you enjoying it from a state of calm observation? Did you come away with the image that you wanted? Did you capture the right light? Did you feel like you missed the opportunity? And if you only had the chance to shoot this photo once, wouldn't you want to give yourself the best opportunity to come away with something spectacular? I know I would. An intervalometer is a great tool, but I think that the best part about it is probably that it can be a catalyst for us to be more deliberate with our shooting. And I think only through that will we be able to really start to nail our shots. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.